the cries of humanity. There was once a land alone, a people unseen, a destiny unborn. Trees like hills towering to the skies, mountains like fountains reeling to the heaven. The sun glowing like a river of gold across the horizon, and the field green as green could ever be. Africa was indeed a land of growth, a land of dreams, a land of fields and treasure. A beautiful land of freedom, but then came a hovering cloud of darkness, the mist of sorrow and the fog of death. Man became an enemy to man, and like scavenging beasts, we dug ourselves a grave in which we buried our honor, our esteem, our pride, our prestige, our patriotism, our loyalty, even our very will to exist as a nation. The democracy will fade in our heart when they say it is no for our better tomorrow, but we must remember we do not live what neither God nor us that faith. As a hope, you want the future, you want the stars in the dark sky, at the elders of tomorrow, don't the garden, and you are the hope of Africa, then why war? In the streets, blood runs like fountains, the catching of offshore like mountains. How are the people going to sustain such socially unfriendly situation? War is wrong, is not a solution. Solely alone it brings too much tension, too many lives lost. It must give the all African nation. See them running, you don't even care, or you just kill them, youngsters you rape them, and the masses that no one can feed them. No life dead higher than the war system. Deadness in the future. I listen to the wind, I hear the voice of my life, the life of my soul, the soul of Africa, the soul of the Gambia. I listen to my silence, painting my imaginations, I had my answer, from my tip up to the tip of my head. I called my anger so I couldn't feel my leg. For Africa suffered, the Gambia rushed from the dust to the castle of real life. I had my nation scream, got boom from the edges of dreams, man acting inhuman, radiating trust and hope. We are the people, the same black people, whose white girls start sweat like a tight river, rip our muscles like stones and hit the ground like this. We are the people, the same black people, who were brutalized, badly marginalized, according discriminated. We are the people, the same black people, history takes long, that this is remark. Let your eye remember, so are you not to unite. Excavate the past, educate the future, relate into the present and innovate the mystery, for we have had in the grand past with that. It is a beginning of a start, a start of a new life, a start for the Gambia, a start for Africa.
kon dama jël la sa yëpp boole ngi jël xol yi fit jolaali toog ne ma e ñaar be caara bu réer ma jox ko ay tàngule mu dóor mu ne ma invité kati pol ni toog ne ma jot na pizza mi fala ka lacci. So before I move further in my performance, I also want to take this opportunity to inform you all that I will be launching my poetry album before the wind on the 12th March at the Penchami Hall. Please mark it on your calendar. Thank you. So the piece I'm going to perform is called Feminine Pride, an encapsulation of the greatness of our women and the need to protect their value. But of course, I would definitely thank the members of the High Table for being here. I can see a lot of legends, professors, and of course, the movers and shakers of our world. Thank you for being here with us. So the poem reads, I've been given a lot to live for, little to smile for, and much more to die for. But among all this, beside the pain of women in hidden truth, a sadness to cry for. The walls, mosquitoes, beings placed in the coffins of society's carpentry, built in stereotypes, abuse and exploitation to the highest degree. Their wings tied tightly, they can't fly free. Their bones crossed wrongly, bloody not to see, but I've come with a revelation to save a generation. So listen to me attentively. The dawn of the night has finally arrived to break the barriers barring the progress of our women, to the power of we men of consciousness of the wrong constructions we want to vandalize. The abusers of rights we penalize. The hidden criminals we televise on the screens of shame and globalize a movement to protect our women. In worry without mercy, in empathy without pity. For I've been worried for decades of how I should love you and what I should love in you. And if I do not get the love in return, what I should then do? If I should find you the pretty face and the beautiful body, the power of motherhood and the cradle you kept me, the way you raise my kids and how that makes me happy, the way I strip off your bikini and how that makes me cozy in the bed and the strips of kitchen in the kitchen and the mispalatability, but believe me, that is not why I should love you. I should love you simply because you are a woman. Because I'm aware of how you've been placed in the process of society's categories. I've realized how you've been torn into a victim of gender-based violence, sexual violence, and anytime you want to complain, they want to shut you up. But women, speak up and speak aloud. Unveil the pain and let them out. You are not a slave of anyone, not men, not women, not those that believe, not those that doubt. Emotionally express yourself and be part of the positive crowd. Because if you are a woman, you are naturally a conqueror and a creator of honor. If you are a woman, you are a long source of inspiration and a source of power. If you are a woman, you are a dream of life, a hero of souls and happy. If you are a woman, you are the custodian of people, battles of success and glorious success. But if you are a woman, you are the brightest being that God visits the face of God. Beautiful and pretty, intelligent and stunning. The survivors of success in the midst of wars. The purpose of the animal moon, the brightness of the sun, the queen of high sun, the house, the streets, and the practices that we embrace in this life. Thank you.
before the high table leaves, I would like to call Keba Mambure to come and give some of the prizes for us. Now, the Writers Association, for your information, to which our chief, how they call it, writer today, was the Secretary General, published some few books. One of the most successful is Proverbs in Mandinka, Pular, and Wolof. This is a very important book. And I think all of those who will receive this will be able to learn some of the most important proverbs in our 3 major languages. Well, sorry, exclude the major there, on 3 of our languages. Because we are also developing the Sarahule, the Manjak, the Jola, and the others. So this book was published actually in 2009, but it has been reprinted because it has been demanded for at the Timbuktu Bookshop. So, Keba Mambure, where is it? Come quickly. This one is going to Chairman Alaji Jaju of the NYC. We are offering you proverbs, and we want you to read and be using quoting both in Mandinka, Pular, and Wolof when you are next making speeches somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And the next one is going to be awarded to the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Mr. Sekou Sanyan. I'm sure he's going to make many statements, so he will be a very useful book for him. Sekou should be presented by our Secretary General, Keba Mambure. Now, I was surprised to find the Commissioner General here. By the way, he was my senior at school, so we've known each other a long time ago. And I would also mention Alaji Ibundur, who is the Imam Ratib at Kilkenny in Ireland. I'm so honored to see you. I will speak a little bit about that later. But then, because he's an avid reader, I'm giving him 3 books. The first one is the Proverbs, Mandinka, Pular, and Wolof. The second one is Poems, The Dictator and the Heretic by Professor MODOU Sala. And the third one is my own book, the book of Larry Peters, on Larry Peters. So you have something to read. Thank you. Now, we have guests amongst us too, who have traveled afar to join us. And one of them is Professor Chinedu Igwe, who is the boss of International Authors and Writers. So he's going to be provided 3 books. The Proverbs, written by the Writers Association, Bold Voices, also published by the Writers Association of the Gambia, The Dictator and the Heretic by Professor MODOU Sala, and a copy of my own book, Larry Peters. Thank you. This is a special gift from the Writers Association. Thank you. Now, the Writers Association got international prominence because of Professor Okai, the late Professor Okai, who was then Secretary General of the Pan-African Writers Association. As a result of him, we were known everywhere in the world. Today, we have got another Secretary General who has visited the Gambia, who is none other than Dr. Wale, my good friend. He is going to be giving a bunch of books, because remember, he's the Pan-African Writer Representative. So he will get Mandinka Proverbs, Writers Association, which he must learn. He is going to receive an anthology of poems, which is co-published between Gambia and Senegalese writers. He's going to get Bold Voices, published by the Writers Association, The Dictator and the Heretic by Professor MODOU Sala, Dr. Larry Peters by myself, and then the cream on top of the cake, Kairaba, that is the book of the life of the first president of the Republic of the Gambia, that is now going to be your gift on your journey back. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, SG. Thank you very much. You can go to your seat. Today, we are celebrating Mamadou Lamin SOWE. But we are not only celebrating him. Through Mamadou Lamin SOWE, we are celebrating the young writers. And this is the reason why I feel I'm impressed by MODOU LAMIN SOWE. First, this young man came to know me more than a decade ago. He was very, very young then, not very sure of himself, and he has started publishing his first books. And he came to see me, and he wanted to join the Writers Association. But not only that, he was so inspired that he felt the young voices needed a different group. And then he created the Young Writers Association of the Gambia, which was called WAG, which was a body under the National Writers Association. But there are a few things I need to say about him. So I'm not going to talk about the book that is said by the reviewers, but because I'm going to use him as an example of the youth exuberance and some of the things we can learn, MODOU LAMIN SOWE is very creative.
The launching of the book entitled Don't Judge the Book by the Cover, written by the award-winning author MODOU LAMIN ALMUSAF SOWE, and for the privilege to present this keynote address. I had the privilege of mentoring the author, for which I am deeply proud. When I was approached by the author to be the chief guest of honor and to deliver this keynote address at the book launch, I did not hesitate in accepting the invitation for two reasons. First, due to my sentimental attachment to the issue that relates to the development of African literature, and secondly, due to my very close relationship with the author of the book. Most importantly, the book has been dedicated to the Gambian Revenue Authority in recognition of the development role the GRA plays in mobilizing the needed revenue for our national development. Thank you, MODOU LAMIN, for doing that. On behalf of the Gambian Revenue Authority, GRA, I wish to thank the author for dedicating the book to the Gambian Revenue Authority. Perhaps a good starting point for my address is with the author himself. This is important because it will give us the opportunity to appreciate why the author ventured into writing a book on literacy and reading, and why I personally believe that there could not have been a more qualified person to write such an award-winning book. The author, MODOU LAMIN SOWE, at his first stint with the creative industry more than 2 decades ago. As a teenager, served by hard work, reading, continuous research. The author, coming from an underprivileged background, served his thoughts and mindset and drive. He grew as one of the most brilliant students in Brikama and the surrounding, and was able to rise from his humble beginning to become the president of the Civil Society Organization. The youth and the children in the immediate development have become the first chairpersons of the National Patriotic Students Association, NAPSA, and eventually founded the Young Writers Association of the Gambia in 2012. With this kind of exposure and related experience, you will agree with me that the author is in vantage position to write a book on the Gambian poor leadership and literacy ratio, evident across the country. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I wish to commend the author for his vision and efforts to document what I consider a very comprehensive account of the operation of the Apex regulatory witnesses of the Gambian Literacy Society. This is particularly an important development, as the book will surely fill the correct gap in the public understanding of the role of parents in contributing to the literacy market in the Gambian economy. I hope this effort will sustain, particularly by the likes of MODOU LAMIN, given the importance of this book, but also the author, because of whom very prominent scholars traveled all the way from the USA, the UK, Nigeria, Senegal, Ghana, and Ethiopia to witness this historical launch as the dynamic source of capital and vehicle for finance and saving. MODOU should be seen by Ghanaians as curative members to Nigeria. As African writers continue to grow as a major provider of investable funds for national mobilization, the need for public enlightenment on the value of books become very important, and this momentum must continue. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, against the background of phenomenal growth of Gambian literature, there is a very urgent need to develop the capability and ethical standard of practitioners in the market in order to meet the international standard. The Gambia must be prepared to adopt the best practice in its operation if it is to be integrated into the global market. The body of this task force on the shoulders of the young ones, you people. His name here is MODOU SOWE. From all records available to me, MODOU SOWE is up to the task. Indeed, in a recent report issued by the Pan-African Writers Association on the African Book of the Month, The Throne of the Gods, another book written by LAMIN, has been described as the competent material which is the cultural resource that commensurate with the growth and development of the Gambian literature. I urge that this excellent performance is sustained on LAMIN. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude my address by once again commending the author of this initiative. I therefore recommend don't judge the book by the cover for general readers, especially to the students, teachers of literature, and the general public. Writing a book is no means a task. It is not for the faint-hearted. You need to have the strength, the patience, to sit for the long hours to put down your thoughts in the proper sequence. Your diction must be good, and you have to make a substantial sacrifice and perhaps have sleepless nights in order to come out with something meaningful. Lastly but not the least, you must have capacity to tolerate criticism. And finally, to LAMIN, I say a big congratulations on your successful launch, and I wish you many more years of fruitful writing. I thank you all for your attention.
A Form 4 student at Buckingham Nima Academy. It is my pleasure to deliver this keynote address on behalf of Mr. Wye Drame, US-based Gambian author, at this international conference and launch of the book entitled Don't Judge the Book by the Cover. The Master of Ceremonies of these noble occasions, Professor Chinedum Igwe, Executive Director, International Association of African Authors and Scholars, and his entire delegates from Atlanta, USA. Dr. Wali Okejan, Secretary General, Pan-African Writers Association, and his beloved wife, Mrs. Azeb Yosef Ambachio, Executive Director of One Africa Pen Warriors. Professor Abdul Sakur Mbub, President, Young Writers Association of Senegal, Honorable Yankuba Dabo, Commissioner General, GRA. The author, MODOU LAMIN H. ALMUSAF SOWE, guest of honors, invited guests, scholars, students, and teachers, members of the press, media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Before the modernization of literature in the Gambia, the art of writing and dissemination of information about our society and its people was conveyed in the manner of storytelling and folklore. Such a presentation of the society was crude and primitive, an artifact that faded into obscurity. In the throes of colonialism and with the advent of Western education in the Gambia was not lacking sharper minds. Those who went to school and came into a panoply of knowledge were curious enough to study abroad as literature was making gigantic waves across Europe and Americas. These champions and pantheons of educated Gambians who were dosed in Western ideologies had a deeper understanding of how writers influence political, cultural, and economic landscapes throughout the world. Our distinguished old guards of master writers and journalists, such as Dr. Lenry Peters, Nana Gray Johnson, Ibu Diba, Jibril J. Roberts. The late Suwabu Konate must have faced a gauntlet of a time when our improvised Gambia had just attained its independence. and Western education was still young in a time of limited pool of intellectuals who had nothing to show for in the world of literature. Nevertheless, they did not surrender to the blandishments of the little wealth around them. Under the scorching academic atmosphere, under the moonlight and starry nights, when incentives and resources for writing and writers were just so sparing, when opportunities for writers were almost non-existent, when Nigeria boasts of its prolific writers such as Chinua Achebe and Wole Soyinka, and our neighbors, Senegal bask in the glory of writers like Mariam Ba, Birago Diop, and many others. It was our literary-minded scholars who decided to become writers and journalists, and these are the people whose writings purged our society out of antiquities, darkness, and blindness into the world of literary embellishment. A core component of literature is it serves as footprints to educate and enlighten and modeled by the younger generation of writers. Literature equally cleanses the society of filth, exterminates inequalities, and raise awareness in promoting justice and accountability and prosperity to deep dive into enchanted territories. While Nana Gray Johnson's novel, The Magic Calabash, is a scintillating tale of unemployment, economic downturn, and wanton corruption, chaff on the wind, ennobled by Ibu Diba, induced both compassion, exhilaration, humor, and pathos. This Way from America, written by Wie Drame, delved into fraying edges of our societies and it peers into the vice and decadence of human behavior. A good novel connects with its audience. A good novel serves as a bridge between the reader and its surroundings, where the reader takes a moment of reflection and reckoning. This is exactly how our older writers and novelists laid the groundwork for the emerging group of young Gambian writers and were put on the pedestal of individual stardom. Young Gambian writers are redefining literature, and they are doing it with unprecedented levels of precision. Their literary ambitions, determination, zeal, and quest to be counted among the brightest and the best of African writers came with the novelty of time. The advent of technology revolutionized the field of literature by creating fascination for writing and making writing look so easy. If Aminata Nako, a sweet 11-year-old girl, can devote her time in producing melodious masterpiece of literature, then you ought to understand that writing has taken a giant leap in Gambia. Decades ago, it took an enormous time to write a novel. Today, it takes a lightning pace to write a book because you have all the tools necessary for research. When Samsudeen Sarr was writing his novel, Meet Me in Conakry, he must have acquired first-hand knowledge of the route from Banjul to Conakry by taking a trip between the two cities himself. Today, you don't have to travel anywhere to research a book. Just Google it. Today, you don't have to travel with a dictionary to look up words because your phone carries it. Even proofreading and editing are almost things of the past. Most writers started relying on Google edit tools to polish their writing. We must also be cautious that these mechanized tools must not diminish the value and integrity of our writing. Writing is like a cocktail of concussion. What sets one writer from the rest of the writers is your ability to aggressively push yourself to the limit. What also sets you apart from the rest demands a combination of creativity and innovation. But therefore, other writers, be the mainstay of literary activities, be available to the call of literary duties. Be collaborative. This is what exemplifies MODOU LAMIN SOWE's attitude to life of a writer. From being the foremost exponent of writer fueling him to mountaintop of literature. I once told MODOU LAMIN ALMUSAF SOWE that if he had been living in America in the wake of all what he is doing to promote literature in the Gambia, he would have been drowning in glory. In Western countries, your efforts and outputs are measured. You are valued for your work, you are accorded with due recognition, and you are paid accordingly. In African societies, you are undervalued, you are underappreciated, you are depreciated, and you are frustrated. And before your literary work is even recognized as you are already rotten to the bones. I implore and urge the government of the Gambia and stakeholders to take keen attention to young emerging writers. There are so many MODOU LAMIN souls in the Gambia who wish to acquire their matters and decorate it in writing. Failure to invest in them, you are depriving the country of the next Hasum Sise, Larry Peters, Nana Gray Johnson, and many more. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Is going to be on a topic that is very dear to we Africans, wherever we are, and most especially from African continent. I hope everybody's hearing me. Is it okay? All right. So, as you can see, this organization is about African authors and scholars. But we do not end in that area. We just want the people, the citizens of Africa and the citizens of the world that buy our books, that read our books, that are our fans, to have a very stable continent. And that is why the title of my paper today is Leadership Excellence in Africa, Role of African Authors and Scholars. It is not a coincidence that a book launch today will become an international conference of African authors and scholars here in the Gambia. It is also an eclipse of what SOWE, who was born to accomplish some years back on January 7, 1990, here in Gambia, the West Africa. Right here in our midst is a revolutionary African literary legend behind the cover of Don't Judge a Book by the Cover. At the time SOWE wrote this book at the age of 14, neither he nor anyone in this event knew that a day like this would come. So this day will remain remarkable, and everyone here and all Gambians, I call on you to behold this day in support of SOWE's love for literature and Africa's literary progress. SOWE's accomplishments in the Gambia, SOWE's accomplishments is Gambia's achievement, because what we see in far places is right here for you without leaving the borders of the Gambia. A small West African country with a literary giant and an African son in the person of MODOU, LAMIN, ALMUSAF, SOWE. Please stand up. African book lovers and fans of African authors, African book lovers are fans of African authors. They buy our books, they read our books, and they are here today and everywhere supporting authors' events. Their well-being should also be our concern. African authors and scholars must hold African leaders responsible for leadership ills in Africa. It is not enough to write and sell books when our readers are subjected to challenging conditions without basic life amenities, while African leaders savour extra riches. However, we wish to appreciate and honor the leadership ingenuity of President Adama Barrow and his accomplishments in the Gambia, which is changing the face of leadership in Africa. The Leadership Excellence Award he is scheduled to receive from the International Association of African Authors and Scholars is a testimony of his achievements in the Gambia we now ask him that this award should not be the end of his selfless service to the Gambian people, but should be an encouragement to do more to improve the citizens' livelihood and prove his worth for this prestigious recognition from the International Association of African Authors and Scholars. The International Association of African Authors and Scholars, IAAS, has begun the reorientation of Africans with a revolutionary leadership curriculum at the Africa International Leadership Institute. The Africa International Leadership Institute Continental Campus needs the support of everyone as a solution and base for the next generation of African leaders. And to achieve this bold objective, the Honorable Minister of Tourism and Culture, Honorable Hamad Ba, approved our request for land to site the Leadership Institute Continental Campus in the Gambia. This Leadership Institute will develop the potentials of young Gambians and African citizens to learn leadership skills first before seeking leadership position for individual development, organizational growth, and nation building across African countries. The Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports, Honorable Bakari Baji, who provided logistics and hospitality for our team arrival from the United States, is appreciated highly for this event. Please give him a clap. I understand he's not here today, right? Please send the message to him. African authors and scholars are invited to IAS, where the organization discover African authors and promote African authors and provide African authors with additional empowering resources and international platform to write and research on African literature and sell books on IAS bookstore. I personally invite African authors and scholars to the IAS website, iaaauthors.org, to join and get involved, to be heard. And for more information on the 2022 IAS Books and Leadership Summit, to be held in Atlanta, USA. In conclusion, our fans, our readers, and citizens of Africa deserve our intervention. And this is my message to African authors and scholars. We must write about triumphs and perils of African leaders and subject those not performing well to criticisms. We must use our pens as swords to defend the people of this lovely continent. Otherwise, we will have empty nations when Africa's best will leave to better governed nations. SOWE's book launch has brought us together to address literary empowerment and leadership excellence in Africa. So, let's rebrand Africa with our pens. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I appreciate you all.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. I wish you a happy birthday. We wish you a happy birthday. May you have long life. May you have great success in life. I wish you. Let's have one. I love you so Okay, can we have either SOWE and Fatuba? Yeah. Alana, yeah. Happy birthday. It's your day, it's your day, it's your day. Let's begin this moment. You pray for the next day. Let's begin this moment. Say something. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Lizzie. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and all other protocols duly and respectfully observed. It is my heartfelt appreciation to say a few words before I begin. These two beautiful women you are seeing here are my stepmothers. I lost my mother. She is in the grave. These are my mothers. They are my stepmothers. I want you to clap for them. Anything that I'm doing in life, they always encourage me. My family, everybody is here. And I want to call them, as I call names, they will stand up, you show them appreciation and love. Without them, I cannot write, I'm nothing. My family is everything. Let's clap for them. Can I have Fatu Sow stand up? Fatu Sow, can you stand up? That is Fatu Sow. Wave them. You can wave. That's Fatu Sow. I have my Auntie Anna. Wave them, Auntie Anna. Abi Sow, Abi, can you wave? I have Emmanuel. Emmanuel is my roommate. Emmanuel, stand up, is my roommate. Auntie Marie, can you stand up? Auntie Marie Sow, stand up and wave. That's Auntie Marie. I also have Baba Moduba. He is my uncle. Baba Moduba, thank you very much. I have my brother Serif Sow. Serif, can you stand up? Serif, thank you for coming. And Sheikh Abakoli is also my roommate. Sheikh Abakoli, my roommate. And I am not giving my speech. It's just birthday. I will not give my speech without thanking some people, especially my organizing committee. If I'm giving a speech, you all have to come on stage. Apart from that, this cake, everybody here will have a piece, especially those upstairs. I'm seeing my other family. Umi Danso, I see you wherever you are. Let's clap for you and your delegation. I see Satan Dumbuya in the building. I see King TV. I see all the TVs, all the press houses, everybody, newspapers, radios. Let's appreciate them. And now I will hand over to Lizzie to continue with the songs. But before I do so, I forgot I'm human. If I don't mention your name where I am, I'm not even seeing. I'm in doldrums. That is English to use, man. Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, I want you to finally appreciate my family all the way from Senegal, Dakar, Ziguinchor, they are all here. Abi, mun ngeen taxaw family di délégation de Sénégal ñu tàccul leen jërëjëf. I must pay all the way from Dakar. I can't pay you. Thank you very much. I'm so moved. I told my brother if I am coming to read my speech, bring a bucket. Sometimes I cry. You want to see my tears?
No.
I will soon cry.
Don't cry. Don't cry.
I am not seeing Khadijatu Jallo on stage. Please come, Khadijatu. We need you here. I can see you right there. Please join us. Let's put our hands together for Khadijatu. Or should I say First Lady ML Sow? Yes. Let's clap for her.
Good.
All right. Okay. Emma want me to continue singing the birthday song for him, so I have to do it. Yeah?
Continue, girl.
All right. Okay. Happy